Welcome to Movie House Cinemas. Popcorn? Yes, please. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Reclining chairs? Don't mind if I do. Action, thriller, romance, we got it all. Discover the cinema today. Movie House Cinemas, home of the movies.
Good evening, and welcome along to Robyn Elliott tonight. Good to have your company with us once again. Coming up on the show, we'll find out why the countryside is in crisis with Escape to the Country's Jules Hudson.
I'm just probably an old school romantic, Robyn. You know, I like to follow my notions and my dreams and my hopes like everybody else. And I've been lucky enough to follow many of them.
Now, have you got clothes in your wardrobe that you've only ever worn once? I'm sure many of us have, and we're going to find out on the show tonight how we can make some money from those clothes with Georgia Toffolo.
For someone like me, one day I can be in the baggiest, most casual jeans with a vest top, and the next day I look like I'm off to Paris Fashion Week.
We'll find out why radio presenter Ibe Sesay has been to Sierra Leone with the Concern, a worldwide charity.
It was a life-changing trip out to Sierra Leone, Freetown, where my dad is from, where my roots are from. I actually lived there for just short of 3 years. So it was incredible, a great opportunity to go back and see where I lived and see just the people there, my family, and the amazing work the Concerned Worldwide UK do.
Well, of brand new music, Brother Vice are going to be live in the studio. They'll be meeting a Dundonald-based company who have just had great success on the Lidl Kickstart program. We're going to find out what exactly Sweet Robyns are.
We always say in Northern Ireland it's always quite a smaller market, and we always find Northern Ireland gets left behind as such for this, and there's not that many opportunities to sort of do something like this. So tapping into this, again, it helps bring that brand exposure, and again, trying to build the growth that obviously we're very passionate about what we do.
And one of the new voices of Irish country, Effie Neill, is going to be dancing like there's nobody watching. But as always, we'll begin with this week's big quirky news stories, and she was so good last week, we brought her back this week. It's Tina Calder. How are you?
Hello. I don't know how you convinced me to do this twice.
I know. But we did, which
Yes.
means we had the embarrassing clip from years gone by.
No, we got that out of the way last week.
Yeah,
Robyn.
but do you know what? They were surfing around the archives and they found another one from the Big Buzz Awards way back in the day, which of course were
Was
big
I drunk in
on
it?
this channel. I think you were slightly.
probably was.
Let's have a look at this. So here we go, a clip taking you back way in time. It's me and Tina hosting the Big Buzz Awards.
Oh, we're still backstage here at the Big Buzz Awards. I've been joined now by my co-presenter for the evening, who just happens to be Ireland's top entertainment journalist as well. Tina, how does it feel?
Oh, Robyn, I nearly missed it.
Did you? Where were you?
I was back here doing an interview with Maliki, and off I runs out front, and I get through the doors into the crowd area. Somebody goes, "Well done, Tina." I was like, "Huh? What? What?" And then my phone starts going. I'm like, "What?" And then I look up, and everybody's looking at me. I'm like, hello? Very embarrassing. But thank you.
But there you go. Congratulations. And the little
My
award
brother
looks
must have
great.
voted lots this time.
Well, when you do, you get the family to set up some kind of call centre, don't you? And they sit and vote like
Thanks
crazy.
to my brother.
There we go. Anyway, and of course, presenting the award to you, your very good
Who's
friend,
my friend?
Myling Class.
There she is, but she... Oi, you, woman!
So she's over there. So here she comes. Here she comes to join us. Come around this side. Come around this side.
You're just covered in, surrounded by mad women.
Indeed. So were you panicking when she didn't appear?
This has got to be the longest speech. You'd think I'd won it. I was looking at the table and I couldn't even see you. Would you please welcome the most gorgeous, the most glamorous? I gave you the walk up and you weren't even there. I was panicking.
There we go.
I can't cope.
We
I
haven't
can't cope with
changed
you.
a bit.
We were fabulous, what can I say?
We must do that again sometime.
Yes. Let me lose another few pounds. I'm too vain in my old age now, you see.
What have you got for us this week then?
I want to ask you,
Right.
how long do you spend in the bathroom? And when I say the bathroom, I don't mean like getting washed. I mean, you know, doing your business.
Not very long, and there's a very good reason for that, because I have a very, very small toilet in the house, and it's not comfortable. So I can't.
So you can't chill?
I can't chill in there at all. I just need to get in, do what I have to do, and get out again, because you would get claustrophobic in there.
So according to Lad Bible, men aged 18 to 24 spend more than 2.5 hours a week in the toilet.
That's a long time.
But it's not doing their business or any other business.
So what are they doing?
They're just using it as a quiet room, as a space to like escape away from the world. And do you know what? I'm going to totally start doing that. I think I'm going to go. My problem is I go to the toilet, I have 2 flipping dogs chasing me everywhere. I'm like, seriously, Lo? Can I get 2 minutes peace? So now I'm going to close the door and I'm going to clock up my 2.5 hours a week.
Okay, now it's not just the toilet you can lock yourself away in. There is a quiet room in America that's getting lots of coverage.
I really, really, really want to get involved with this. So if they're watching, fly me over, I'll give it a go. In Minnesota, there's a Guinness World Record room where they've padded it and done whatever soundproofing they have to do. And it's apparently the quietest place on earth.
Right.
So quiet that not only can you hear your own heartbeat, but there are people who go mad and can't last, you know, minutes in it. And I was just thinking, you know, what I would give for just 1 minute's peace and quiet.
Just 1 minute?
Just 1 minute.
Because that's probably the length of time you could keep your mouth shut for, I would imagine.
To be fair, I'd probably be in there going, what's all this about? But I reckon my tinnitus would send me mad rather than the silence, because I don't think I would get the silence.
Right, okay.
So I am desperate to have a go at that.
Okay, well, if anybody can make that happen for Tina, get in touch and we will send her across to Minnesota. Right, I love your fantastic facts that you come up with on the show. There's another one this week about ice cream.
Yes, where do you think the 99 ice cream's name came from?
Well, I would imagine it probably came from the cost of a 99, which was maybe 99p.
That's what I thought. Until I found this out. Apparently, it's just the address of the place in Edinburgh that it was created. It was 99 whatever street. And I was like,
wow.
I always thought, because of course now you go, 90, back in the day when these were 99p.
Yes, yeah.
Well, no, we can't use that as a way to complain about the price of inflation anymore.
And a 99 ice cream, that's the one you have to put a flake in it.
Oh yes, you absolutely have to have a flake.
Yeah.
And flakes and Freddos, another random fact, flakes and Freddos are often used to gauge inflation because of their their popularity and because of the price, and so whether they go up or down, people are going,
And when you get a 99 these days, do they still offer you the raspberry sauce to put over it as well?
Oh, you couldn't get one without it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be really disappointed if it didn't get sprinkles and sauce.
Right, okay, there we go. I'm dying for a 99 now.
I know, let's go for ice
Let's go
cream.
get one. Right, let's finish off with something I think is going to make you cry.
Stop it.
We're talking elephants, aren't we?
I knew you were going to bring this up. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
So Belfast Zoo are retiring the 2 beautiful elephants that they have left. I believe both were rescued from performance or circuses or something like that. And when you go up there, you actually see them shake, and a lot of parents like me tell kids that they're dancing because you don't want to tell them the real trauma. But so they're being sent away to a wonderful, fantastic retirement space. But I am devastated. Now, I can't even begin to describe how devastated I am. Elephants are not only my favourite animal in the whole world, but I became in love with elephants because of Tina the elephant in the zoo when I was a child. And when Tina died, I bawled my eyes out. In fact, my family were like, don't tell Tina about the elephant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to be really sad.
And did you know that I actually worked with those elephants on a film?
I'm so jealous.
On a film called Zoo, and lots of the scenes that I was in were shot up with in the zoo with those elephants as well. So.
They're just such beautiful creatures.
Yeah.
They're just so beautiful. But yeah, and I think part of it is my disappointment at what I see as the erosion of the zoo. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a whole other argument about animals in captivity, and I don't believe animals should be in captivity, but there are animals who cannot be let back into the wild. And I think there's a lot of children, especially in, you know, working class cities, who will never get to experience the majesty of a lion or a gorilla or a, you know, or an elephant. And so I think it's really the end of an era, so it is, and I don't think they're ever going to replace them. Aww. They are getting dinosaur statues though. What?
Right, okay.
Yeah, I didn't even read that. I was like, no, I can't even cope.
Right, okay. Well, there we go. Will you come back and see us again sometime?
I might, yeah.
Brilliant, Tina Calder. Thank you so much. Right, time for some live music now. And we always love discovering new music and new bands. And waiting in the wings is a band who you're going to hear a lot more from over the next coming months. One of the best rock bands around at the moment. Performing live, here are Brother Vice.
Well, you promised me that I was more than all the miles combined. You must have had yourself a change of heart halfway through the drive, 'cause your voice trailed off exactly as you passed my exit sign. Kept on driving straight and left our future to the right. Now I am stuck between my anger and the blame that I can't face. Memories of something even smoking weed cannot replace. And I am terrified of weather, 'cause I see you when it rains. Doc told me to travel, but there's COVID on the plains. And I love Vermont, it's the season of the sticks. And I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed. And it's half my fault, I just stopped to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, that I will not lose. And your tire tracks and one pair of shoes. And I'm split in half, that'll have to do. So I thought that if I piled good on some of all my bad, I could cancel out the darkness I inherited from Dad. No, I am no longer funny, 'cause I miss the way you laugh. Once called me forever, now you still can't call me back. And I love Vermont, it's the season of the sticks. And I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed. And it's half my fault, I just stopped to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, that I will not lose. And your tire tracks and one pair of shoes. And I'm split in half, that'll have to do. Oh, that'll have to do. My other half was you. I hope this pain's just passing through, but I doubt it. And I love Vermont, it's the season of the sticks. And I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed. And it's half my fault, I just stopped to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, that I will not lose. And your tire tracks and one pair of shoes. And I'm split in half, that'll have to do.
And we'll have some more music from our Brother Vice live in the studios a little bit later on. We're chatting to broadcaster and pre-loved fashion expert Georgia Toffolo right after these.
Heading to the North Coast, the Jet Centre in Coleraine offers entertainment for everyone. There's an 8-screen movie house cinema with all the best movies, 10-pin bowling, a massive arcade, soft play for the wee ones. Outdoors, there's a mini fun park and gem mining, plus an 18-hole floodlit mini golf course. Rain or shine, there's something for everyone here at the Jet Centre. Find out more at thejetcentre.co.uk.
And welcome back to Robyn Elliott tonight. Now, according to some new research, 6 in 10 people admit to having clothes in our wardrobe that we've only ever worn once. We're going to tell you how you can make some money from those clothes now, because our broadcaster and pre-loved fashion expert, Georgia Toffolo, joins us now. How are you today?
Hi, darling. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So talk us through this new research then. Was there anything that really surprised you?
Yeah, basically, it's showing up that so many of us, I mean, over half of us have got one-hit wonders that I call lurking in the back of the wardrobe. Wore them once, didn't wear them again, which I think is total madness. There's also, 63% of people in the UK admit to having clothes that they've just never loved. And I think, how mad is that? And I must say, I've fallen victim to this quite a lot, which is why I'm so passionate about reselling items that no longer give you that butterfly feeling. And you think, when you look at them in the wardrobe, I can't wait to wear you. And don't get me wrong, we've got a lot of items that do fall into that category. But what I'm advocating is the ones that don't give you that feeling, get them straight on a resale site and get some extra cash coming in.
Let's take it back a little bit, because I'm one of those people who has a full wardrobe of stuff. Some stuff that I've never worn, some things that I've only worn once, but the thought of going through it all just really overwhelms me.
Really? Oh, Donnie, no, I've gone the other way now. Schedule it quarterly to have a big declutter. But once you've trained your brain to really now think, does that item serve me? Is that giving me what it should? I do it probably even once a week, a couple of items straight out, because I think I want to open the wardrobe, and I'm really big on clothes. I mean, that my biggest joy in life is having a try on. I mean, just having a try on and putting together amazing ensembles that make me feel confident and wonderful. But yeah, I'll grab something out, and even a t-shirt that I think I haven't worn that in 6 months. And if I have an aversion to wearing something because I think, oh, it doesn't quite suit me, because our bodies change shapes, our style preferences change. And I think what an amazing gift to put it on to a reselling site and for someone else to fall in love with that item as you did the first time you got it, whilst bringing in a bit of extra dosh.
Can we actually make a lot of money from it?
Yeah, well, the research that came back, they're estimating that an average person could earn £490 a year just to be made. That's only made from the clothes that you're not wearing. So if you think about, if you change your mindset and you're thinking, actually, my style has changed, my preferences for dressing is different, you can really get that up.
And what are people looking for when they go onto these sites? Are they looking for good designer stuff, or is it anything in general?
Yeah, so this is what I love about it. So for someone like me, one day I can be in the baggiest, most casual jeans with a vest top, and the next day I look like I'm off to Paris Fashion Week. You can buy both. It's for everyday fashion, it's for luxury fashion, and those little gems that, someone else has fallen out of love with that now become, you can see I'm wearing this gorgeous little knitted cardigan. I bought this online, secondhand, and I just think, gosh, I've worn this so much. Cost per wear must be so low. And on top of that, someone gave it a life before me.
Yeah. So will you resell that then at some point?
Yeah, when I fall out of love with it, but it hasn't happened yet. It's not going anywhere soon.
Now, I've never sold anything on these sites, but for anybody new starting off, you've actually put together some top tips, haven't you? So what should we be doing then to start off?
So my big number one is model the items yourself. People love to see an item of clothing and how it hangs on a body. The next one I mentioned, I have a big quarterly seasonal declutter. Get it in the diary, hold yourself accountable, because if not, you're not going to have any items to put on there. The next thing that I really advocate is buying better quality, whether that's materials, because if you get a great item, it can see you through life. Do you know who's quite good on that? Prince Charles. I've noticed he's really good. Yeah, there's this article I read in the paper a few weeks ago where he's got a pair of shoes and a suit that he's been wearing for over 40 years. And that just shows like good quality and then obviously repairing afterwards. But I think it ties into my point. If you buy better, and also connected to that, I'm quite big on buying clothes that are going to retain their value, because the way that I work is that I sell most things. So if you do buy better, they retain better. And then alongside that is just taking care of your beautiful things. It doesn't matter whether it's a £5 t-shirt or a £300 dress, you really should be looking after them so that when they do go off to a new home, the next person has got something beautiful that will serve them well.
Now, one of the things that I hate, and this happened to me the other day, I went online to look at a shirt that had been pre-worn, pre-sold, and the person selling it hadn't even thought about how it looked. It was all wrinkled, and I was thinking, it's a good designer shirt, but am I really going to buy something that just looks truly awful on a website?
I know, or darling, is for someone like me, a discerning shopper, I'd be thinking, it looks bad in the picture, no one else will want it. I'm going to get it cheaper and give it a good steam when it arrives.
So let's talk about fashion trends in general then. Well, what's big this summer?
So it's actually a cause of a lot of frustration. So it's become really, really cool to look casual all the time. It's that undone, quiet luxury. And I find it quite frustrating because, like, I really want to get dressed up to the nines. And I go out on a Saturday night in London. And I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone looks so effortless. It's sort of that Parisian chic. I haven't tried very hard, but actually you have. But I want to go out in my big stilettos with my big bouncy blow dry and my big dress. But actually, the trends that I've seen this summer is really undone. So on days that I'm feeling sort of I can't quite be bothered to put the rollers in, that's great. I love that fashion. But on a Saturday night when I look around, I'm thinking, guys, come on, where are your grab bags?
Before we finish, they're asking me to ask you something about something that I wear all the time, and some people kind of make fun of me for doing it. I'm talking about cowboy boots, and I wear them because they are the most comfortable footwear that I can find. So tell me this, are cowboy boots cool or not?
It's a big thumbs up from me.
Really?
How could we deny the coolness of a cowboy boot when Taylor Swift has basically taken up residency? I mean, I'm taking 4 little girls to see her next month. Do you know that's 8 cowboy boots? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the cowboy boot.
And is it okay for guys to wear cowboy boots?
Yes, and you're ready for the country western, for the bucking bronco.
Well, I'm glad we got that sorted on the show this evening. Georgia, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Right, still to come, we'll be chatting to Escape to the Country's Jules, Hudson. We'll have some more live music from Brother Vice. And we'll be chatting to radio presenter Ibe Sesay and Jackie Trainor from the charity Concern Worldwide. But before all that, time for something a little bit different. And a company from Dundonald have just had great success with the Lidl Kickstart programme. We're talking about Sweet Robyn, and here's what happened when I chatted to them when they came into the studio earlier this week. Right, next up we're talking protein bars, and these are from Sweet Robyn, a company based in Dundonald. We'll find out all about them from the owners of the company, Johnny and Robin, in just a second. I'm also joined in the studio by Kate O'Driscoll from Lidl, Northern Ireland. So Kate, I'm going to start with you because it's all thanks to you guys at Lidl that these guys have got these on the shelves, isn't it?
It is, and it's great to have them on the programme. So they're part of our Kickstart supplier development programme, which is our platform essentially to help small to medium local producers get exposure for their brand, their products and their business, all with the help of our dedicated in-house experts in Lidl Northern Ireland.
So how does it all work then? I suppose it's kind of like a Dragon's Den type competition in a way, isn't it?
It is. We're a bit friendlier than the Dragons though. So yes, we recruit. We opened our recruitment in February this year. I did a little bit of a roadshow, so I came up to Belfast, met a few potential applicants, and then essentially once we had all of our applications, we did an initial screening, and then we invited about 80 producers in total to come down to our head office, and that's where we did our little Dragon's Den pitches. So the guys here pitched to the respective buyers, and at the end of the day we kind of all reviewed all of the pitches, and we did some product tasting and sampling, and essentially then it was the creme de la creme who have been awarded a place on the programme for this year.
Wow, so apart from the protein bars, what else did you have? What other kind of products?
Wow, so the calibre this year actually was really strong, particularly from Northern Ireland. We have ready meals, overnight oats, craft ciders, craft beers, Obviously the protein bars, we've got energy balls, like there's such a wide variety, it's phenomenal, and the quality of the produce that these guys are producing is top notch.
Okay, well let's find out about the protein bars. Johnny, tell us the main idea behind these then.
Yes, so myself and Robyn were originally from the fitness industry. So we used to competitively do bodybuilding, and then whenever we were going through that phase, obviously whenever I was working in the gyms, I was a personal trainer, we used to bring in bars to the gym and people were trying them just casually, as you do. And as we started to notice a wee bit of a demand then for them, the idea came along then to actually try and make something of it, and we created a company. And that's where Sweet Robyn came along. So we started in about 8 years ago, and we just started as any company does, just casually in the kitchen. And then we had the opportunity first to share a factory facility. And within that factory facility, then we secured one of our first contracts over in England. And with that, then we were able to actually then start the company per se, and actually grow a bit of volume. After that, then we were able to move out of that factory and get a premises of our own. And this is when we started to scale up our local manufacturing. And from that, then we were in that for about 5-6 years. And then once COVID hit, we were about to launch into retail, and then COVID hit, and then we had to pull it back again. And then that's when it sort of forced us then to outsource our manufacturing, and then that was always the original goal since day one. And now that's exactly the stage that we're at, and we were very fortunate then to get accepted on the Lidl Kickstart program, because then that now gives us that opportunity now to work on the scale that we always wanted to do before.
Brilliant. So Robyn, what does this mean then to you as a business then to be part of this Kickstart program?
The opportunity is amazing for us, so we're truly grateful for being accepted.
So tell us about the product then, tell us about the flavours then that we have here.
So we've got milk caramel crisp, and we have the raspberry dark chocolate and the orange dark chocolate. We also are going to add more to the range down the line, but we wanted to start off with these 3 core flavours.
Brilliant. So Johnny, what's your kind of hopes for the business for the future then?
It's allowing our brand to get that little bit more of an exposure, especially in the wider markets as well, because we always say in Northern Ireland it's always quite a smaller market, and we always find Northern Ireland gets left behind as such for this, and there's not that many opportunities to sort of do something like this. So tapping into this, again, it helps bring that brand exposure, and again, trying to build the growth that obviously we're very passionate about what we do. And this is now just allowing us to be able to really pursue this now and take it to the scale we've always wanted to do, and that is to grow it far and wide, all being well. So that's exactly what we would like to hope happen, and we're confident to say it's going to happen. So.
Brilliant. Kate, is the programme opened again for next year, and if it is, how do people get involved then?
We'll be opening for applications again in the new year. So essentially keep an eye on our leaflet and our social media channels, and application forms will be through our website.
And who can take part? Is it kind of anybody who has a food idea or a brand that's already out there?
It's for small to medium local producers, and essentially a product does need to exist to be able to submit it. So we are also open to food, drink, near food, and if somebody has something interesting in non-food as well, no harm to pop it in and get it on the radar, and we'll see if it's a winner.
So guys, thank you so much for coming in, and the best of luck with the product.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, after the break, I'll be chatting to a Q Radio presenter, Ibe Sesay. He'll be telling us why he went on a journey recently to Sierra Leone with the Concern Worldwide charity.
Here we are on the north coast, where sporting legends are made. He needs this putt to advance to the next stage, but can he do it? The crowd are holding their breath. Can he cope with the pressure?
Dad, would you take the shot?
Yes!
Yes!
Well. Okay, my next guests are joining us on the show tonight. One of them has just come back from a trip of a lifetime to Sierra Leone. He's also just become an ambassador for the Concern charity. It's Ibe Sesay from Q Radio. And also Jackie Trainor is with us in the studio. She's just taken over as the Northern Ireland Director of Concern Worldwide. Guys, welcome. Ibe, I'm going to start with you. You're just back from this trip, and it must have been a trip of a lifetime.
It was a life-changing trip. out to Sierra Leone, Freetown, where my dad is from, where my roots are from. I actually lived there for just short of 3 years, so I don't remember anything about it. I was very, very young, so it was incredible, a great opportunity to go back to and see where I lived and see just the people there, my family, and the amazing work that Concerned Worldwide UK do. Right across 26 countries, and Sierra Leone being one of those countries. It was fantastic.
Tell us a bit about your family background to start with, because your dad came from Sierra Leone. How did he end up in Northern Ireland then?
So he travelled from Freetown to study in Queen's University to get his degree. The intention was to return back to Sierra Leone. He met my mum. My mum was a dental nurse in Stranmillis, and I was born in 1980. So my dad said to my mum, "What about moving back with me?" So mum reluctantly agreed and stuck it for a couple of years. But the way of life is just so different. It must have been a big
culture change from Northern Ireland to Sierra Leone.
Huge. So mum didn't fancy it. We came home, and we've all been here ever since. So to get the email from Darren from Concerned Worldwide just to say, listen, we know about your background. We do a lot of work in Sierra Leone. We're taking a trip out there this year, and we'd love you to come and see the work, the amazing work they do, the lives that they change for the better.
So what kind of things did you encounter then when you were out there in Sierra Leone?
We travelled right across Sierra Leone. There was a lot of miles covered. We went to rural parts. We went to see the challenges that some medical facilities had. There's still a lot of work to be done, but with the help of Concerned Worldwide, they have changed a lot of lives and saved a lot of lives. We visited hospitals, medical facilities, and from some of the hospitals before had next to no electricity, and with the help and the funding and the generosity of people, they have able to install solar panels to give 24-hour electric. And if you kind of imagine a hospital here with no electric, it's unheard of. Yeah. But that's the position and the situation that those people were in, and now, like for example, storing blood. If a woman comes in and gives birth and needs a blood transfusion, they sometimes didn't have the blood there because they couldn't store the blood at a sensible, a sensible temperature. So that's only one example of how Concerned Worldwide have changed the lives dramatically of those people. So we're sat here in the hotel in Port Loco, and a lovely surprise. A car pulls up, and none other than my dad's sister, my Aunt Fatu, has surprised me. What a lovely, lovely surprise. And not only that, she brought this beautiful food also. So it's been all good. We visited the Musulmani community. It's being supported by Concerned Worldwide, and we got such a welcome. I was treated to a cookery demonstration, but also told how these people are self-sufficient with the help of Concerned Worldwide. For example, they collect the palm fruit. This is how they grind the palm oil. Before this, it would have to be done manually by foot, but this is a great machine, and it speeds up the process. Makes it much easier. Still quite difficult. It's tough work. The palm oil is boiled to separate the water, and then this can be used to make some delicious recipes. And they taught me how to make olele. This is their little kitchen that they use, and gender equality is very important, so both men and women get involved to prepare the food.
discussion on this activity, on this demonstration on how to prepare omelette.
For this particular recipe, banana leaves, they're soaked in some water to soften. Then the bean mixture with the condiments and the spices are wrapped, steamed for about 20 minutes, and then left to cool for a short period of time before you can eat them.
Spicy, tasty, very tasty.
There really is a real sense of community. They took us to the community forest that's highly protected and vital for their local produce. And in the bed you see here grow many varieties of different vegetables. This was an incredible experience for me to see these people just so happy and so independent.
Brilliant. So would you go back and do the trip again?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to go back, Robyn, yeah. And I would love to bring my family
Yeah.
out also, and just to show them how lucky they are to have what they have here. People out there don't have a lot, but the one thing that I took from the trip was how grateful they are for what they have.
Yeah. Your wife, Colleen, she's got a connection to Sierra Leone as well, doesn't she?
That's true. Like, and this is still mind-blowing because it wasn't long after I met Colleen, she introduced me to her parents, and her mother asked, "Where are your origins?" And I said, "Well, my dad is from Sierra Leone." And she asked, "Whereabouts?" And I said, "Freetown."
Yeah.
And her jaw dropped.
Yeah.
And she said, "I lived there for 10 years.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And so her father went for a job interview in 1960 for a firm here in Northern Ireland. And he got the job if he were to go to Sierra Leone to work for a year. That year turned into 3 years to 7 years, and they lived there for 10 years.
Wow.
New mutual people.
Yeah.
And like 5-7 minutes away from where we lived in Sierra Leone, Colleen's granny and granddad lived, and their mum, our mum too.
Wow, brilliant. Let's bring Jackie in now. We were seeing some of the fabulous video footage that was taken at Sierra Leone as well. But of course, there's other countries throughout the world that you support as well, isn't there?
That's right. Actually, Concern, it's a global organisation, and we currently work in 26 of the poorest countries in the world. It's a huge setup. The charity was set up in 1968, so it's been around over 55, 56 years. And has over 3,500 staff delivering the programmes overseas. So it's a huge and well-established setup.
And it's something you're fairly new to as a director, but you worked for Concern many years ago as well, didn't you?
Bizarrely, I accidentally started my fundraising career in Concern back in the 90s. And it was more to suit. I just had my first child and wanted a part-time job, and stumbled across a community fundraiser job with Concern, and I had 5 most wonderful years with Concern, and since then have stayed in the charitable sector and worked largely in international development agencies, and now just absolutely delighted and honoured to be back representing the charity in Northern Ireland.
So tell us about the work here in Northern Ireland, because I know you've got lots of projects lined up, lots of exciting things happening soon.
Well, there's already a very established base. Obviously, we don't deliver services in Northern Ireland or in the UK, and Concern Northern Ireland is part of Concern UK, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Concern Global. So our target every year, we raise in and around 30 million in the United Kingdom, and I'm I'm proud to be able to say that whilst Northern Ireland represents 3% of the UK population, over 45% of the income annually comes from Northern Ireland.
Wow.
I mean, it's no shock to know the Northern Ireland population, but people are so caring and so supportive. But sadly, as Ibe has mentioned, our programmes really are vital for the survival, and they're life-changing for people who need it the most. And Concern works with the most vulnerable in extreme circumstances in the poorest countries. So sadly, as you watch what's going on and unfolding, on the news, things are getting harder globally with ongoing conflict, sadly now at global level, but also with climate change. So, you know, we very much need to raise more to be able to help more people. Last year, for example, we helped 30.3 million people, but sadly the needs at the greatest. So sort of the primary goal in the Northern Ireland office is to raise as much money as possible, so to grow our engagement, grow awareness of our work, and that's why we're absolutely delighted to have Ibe on board as our concern ambassador. So lots of ways Northern Ireland can continue to help. As I've already acknowledged, you know, so much is already raised from people in Northern Ireland. There is that long-term commitment. We have a retail portfolio. We're about to open our 8th charity shop, which, watch this space, within the next month will be opening far up on the Lisburn Road, and that's going to be our first boutique charity shop. So we're very excited about that, and again, our shops play a very important role in generating income, but over and above the income, it's kind of giving us that visibility, that platform in communities. And, you know, we welcome people to come into the shops to hear more about our work. But I would appeal to everybody to get behind the shops. A bag of donations, come in and see. We have some wonderful stock. So that's one thing. We also partner with companies. We're always looking for charity partnerships for staff fundraising. And again, it's carrying individuals on the ground who are brave enough to take on a challenge or an event or fundraise in any way possible for us. So there's so many different ways people can get on board, and we would ask people to please get behind us as a local international charity.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully after today, more people will. Jackie, it's been good to see you as always. And Ibe, thank you for coming in and sharing your story with us today.
Thanks, Robyn.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Right, time for some more live music, and it's great to have rock band Brother Vice back with us in the studio performing another live track.
I wanna be where we've never been. I wanna break from this machine where Monday can't bite, weekends never leave. I wanna give you what you deserve, watch you bloom and break the curse where worry can find us, wake us from our dreams. And it ain't easy and we just get by, scraping around for a Friday night. We're down on our knees, but you still choose to stay. And ball and chain to our 9 to 5s, under debt with nowhere to hide. Oh, these 4 walls get closer every day. And if I had the money, we'd fly away, get married in Vegas and live in LA. Whatever you want, baby, it's on me. If I had the money, yeah. You can paint all of the things you see. I make music 'cause it's good for me. The sun on our backs and the world at our feet. I find it easier to sleep at night. You'll be happy and we'd never fight. Cold's on the inside without tears to cry. And if I had the money, we'd fly away, get married in Vegas and live in LA. Whatever you want, And if I had the money, we'd fly away, buried in Vegas and live in LA. Whatever you need, baby, it's on me. If I had the money, yeah. And if I had the money, we'd fly away, get married in Vegas and live in LA. Whatever you need, you can count on me. If I had the money, yeah.
Right, still to come on the final part of Robyn Elliott tonight. We're going to find out why the countryside is in crisis, and we'll be chatting to Escape to the Country's Jules Hudson right after these.
Let the good times roll at Super Strikes at the Jet Centre. You can now book your lane online. We've got 14 bowling lanes and 4 mini bowling lanes. Plus we serve delicious hot food and snacks, or enjoy a cold beverage with your food after the game. Discover bowling today at the Jet Centre. Jet Centre, entertainment for everyone.
And welcome back to Robyn Elliott tonight. We're going to take a look now at some new research that tells us that apparently the countryside is in crisis. Rural areas could lose a third of their residents within the next 12 months. We're going to find out more because Escape to the Country star Jules Hudson joins us now. How are you today?
Well, like yourself, Robyn, warm. Yeah, this is really interesting research. This undertaken by Virgin Media O2. Yeah, I mean, quite an assertion. That the countryside is going to empty of people. I think we need to be slightly cautious with that. There's always traffic, particularly through younger generations, leaving rural areas, heading to the bright lights of our cities. But there's no doubt it does highlight, something that we do need to be very aware of, and we do need to address, and that is what keeps our rural populations thriving in our rural areas. Because if we take our eye off that ball and we drop it, then we may yet see more challenges facing our rural communities, which, it's always difficult for our rural communities to thrive and survive, and they do need support, and they need people in them to make those communities make the wheels go round effectively. We need people to use the shops and the schools and the post offices and the bus routes and all of that stuff, because without that demand, they are going to struggle. But of course, Virgin Media O2's interest is through connectivity and understanding how better connectivity might help to alleviate, the sense that there are individuals who may leave because they just don't feel that they are connected enough, either personally or through the businesses that they want to work in or that they want to set up. So it's crucial that we understand and recognise that digital connection is now as important as having water, coming out the tap. It really is now. And I see this through the couples I help right across the country, including in Northern Ireland, on Escape to the Country. It matters now. In the old days, it might have been a nice to have, but these days it really is a must have. And, since COVID, we've seen a much broader swathe of the population being in a position to entertain living in a rural area where perhaps they couldn't before. But it's only going to work if we can give them that umbrella of coverage. And so, yeah, it's interesting research, this, and I think it does highlight an important demand and an important trend, really, that we can and should arrest, with better connectivity throughout our rural areas. Because, if we can use that to support our communities and our rural business, and rural business, is a huge part of the economy. 25% of it employs well over 3.5 million people. We need to be aware of it and we need to support it.
Now, I would have thought with working conditions changing, hybrid working and stuff like that, and the cost of city centre living being so expensive, I would have thought that so many more people would want to move out to the countryside.
It's really interesting, and it's a very interesting driver that, there's always been a perception that you can get better value for money in the countryside, and in many areas you absolutely can. But it was often an avenue denied to many because of the rather feudal relationship with many employers that said you have to be in this building, sitting at this desk at this time, and therefore you had to live, within a very expensive commute to that office and to that building. Yeah, for many that's now changed. But again, the opportunities to do that are only going to sustain if they can genuinely work from home. And that, of course, as we now know, requires, really efficient, reliable, robust communications and connections. And that's what's interesting about this research and the shared collaboration through what's called the shared rural network between our network providers to pool their resources and address those infamous not spots where there is no coverage, to ensure that gradually, slowly, this mosaic, this tile kind of patchwork across the UK is filled in, and so that we are all as connected as we need to be.
Let's talk about Escape to the Country. It's my wife's favourite TV programme. In fact, we also have an 18-month-old Cavapoo puppy, and it's also her favourite TV programme. She sits and watches it the whole way through.
What's his or her name?
Her name's Mia.
Hello, Mia. Mia, come on, treats Mia.
She's going to be so excited because I think she really is your biggest fan.
Well, I'm delighted. I'm glad you watch. I mean, we were escaping to the country in Northern Ireland through Antrim and County Down last year. It was my first house hunting foray over to the northern part of Ireland, and it was just wonderful. Wonderful landscapes, as you will well know, amazing coastlines. But yeah, it's a lovely show to make. I'm very lucky to have spent the best part of 20 years sharing my love of rural life with so many people who also want a slice of it right across the UK. And I never tire of it. You never know it all. There's always a new corner to discover and a new story to tell.
And I saw on your Instagram page the other day, you were out making hay.
Absolutely, yeah, haymaking time. Great to get that underway. For me, country life, its big attraction isn't just the community that surrounds me and all the friends I have, but also, the way of life and watching the seasons change through the year. And, it's not been the driest of 12 months, let's be perfectly honest, but it's great to see the sun out and, get the hay in. It's just those important markers through the calendar that remind us all that, clever as we think we all are and digital as we may be, actually, what matters is that the sun comes out, that the rain falls, and that stuff grows, and that the countryside keeps doing what it's done for thousands of years.
Now, I was also reading somewhere recently that you're also into fine furniture making as well.
Yeah, I've always been a maker of things, Robin, and I was very lucky earlier this year to spend 3 months at the Boat Building Academy in Lyme Regis on their intensive furniture making course, learning from the best there are, just amazing. All of those building skills wrapped into it. So yes, now embarking on a bit of a sideline, making and designing furniture. We're going to be retailing it through an outlet called Warehouse 701 in Herefordshire, a fantastic reclamation yard that I've been going to for years. So yeah, I need to get going and get making. I've promised the world that by autumn we'll have stuff to sell. So no pressure, but yeah, I need to get on with it. Stop talking about it.
And are you still an ambitious person? Are there things out there that you still really want to achieve?
Gosh, that's interesting. I don't suppose it's a very interesting question. No one's ever asked me whether I'm ambitious. I don't know that I am. I think I'm probably an old school romantic, Robin. I like to follow my notions and my dreams and my hopes like everybody else. And I've been lucky enough to follow many of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are always new things. But, I think, for me, I've always been a creative person. TV was the perfect place for me to come to in terms of the filmmaking, where I started in production before as a presenter and still very much enjoy. And I think, my love of country life, my love of renovation and making and furniture now, it's all part and parcel of that creative mix. And writing, of course, so, it's all in there. I suppose I knew from a young age I wouldn't ever work for the firm, like my dad did. I'd always have I suppose what you'd now call a portfolio career, a kind of 18th century, itinerant traveller.
Yeah. And what about the rest of the summer? What's in store for you? Have you got any holidays planned?
Well, a couple of days, I think, in the Isle of Wight. Just had a week, a couple of weeks ago in Devon. So okay. We are staycationing this year. But no, busy working, making hay while the sun shines, literally, and on escape to the country. Need to get back in the workshop, mate, and get making. That's what I need to be doing.
Well, Jules, it's been great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Robin, thank you very much indeed.
And that's nearly all we have time for on this show this week. To play us out, some brand new music from one of the new voices in Irish country. You've probably seen her already on the Hot Country TV show, and this is her brand new single. It's called Dance Like There's Nobody Watching. This is Effie Neill. We'll see you back here next week. Bye-bye.
Fly around the floor like they both got wings. When it comes to the chorus, they both love to sing. Your face is a picture, nothing worrying. Then you gotta dance like there's nobody watching. Sing like there's nobody listening. When you're told